Welcome to the first Earthwatch lecture at the Royal Geographical Society in 2014. Thank you for coming. Our focus this evening is the rich landscape of the Sultanate of Oman. Through the Oman Earthwatch program, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is utilizing Earthwatch's experience in environmental field research to fill a gap in environmental science in his country.
It really does give me very great pleasure to stand here with my colleagues from Earthwatch to address and discuss important issues that relates to the future of the natural heritage of my country, the Sultanate of Oman.
So Oman is a developing country, and all developing countries in the world, they are keen to catch Western country or developed countries in terms of facilities, infrastructure, and therefore this is the same as Oman. So everything coming in the world is a modern life, so we have to get that. And the population is increasing on one side. The other side that we need to catch ways of life, having infrastructures, commercial development, a lot of malls and commercial areas everywhere, including, it's not only capital area, but now spreading everywhere, even in rural areas and in towns. Industrial development. Of course, when you come to this development, they require a lot of resources from the environment. And at the same time, they're producing a lot of materials, hazardous waste materials, as well as impact on the environment. And therefore, we have to be careful on this type of impact to the environment. Although there are some challenges, but there are also good examples of conservation of environment in Oman. There are a lot of partnerships in conservation. I'll give you a few examples, but there are many examples in Oman. One of these is mangrove conservation. And mangrove in Oman, like the past 100 years, 50 years, almost everywhere in coastal area, there were a lot of mangroves. Mangroves, they have a lot of benefit for human needs. They are used for building houses, medicine, and so on and so on. They have a lot of uses. And they are, in terms of environment, they are very important in terms of the release nutrients into marine ecosystem. So they are very, very important for ecosystem and marine life. But unfortunately, during the development in Oman, many of these mangrove ecosystem in many regions of Oman were extinct or threatened. And over the past 20 years, a lot of efforts has been done to bring back these mangroves, and with international collaboration and institutional collaboration in Oman, government institutions, academic institutions, private sectors, local people, schools, everywhere. And now they are planting almost from north to south, many, many areas, and thousands of this plant actually planted in those areas, and they are regenerating very well and they recovered very well. So this is one of the very good partnership of conservation that happened.
So the Arabian tahr is a small endangered mountain goat. On the right-hand side, these are the males, and on the left, the females. The males are around about twice the size of the female Arabian tahr and come in at around about 35 to 40 kilograms. They have much longer hair than the females and also much more robust horns. Arabian tahr, yeah, it's an endangered species, and this means that it's at a very high risk of becoming extinct in the near future. So as well as having the privilege of having an endemic species, endemic large mammal species, Oman holds all the responsibility for conserving this species. This is an example of this steep terrain that's very typical of the Hajar Mountains. We're also doing a lot of behavioral research, and we're doing the behavioral research using camera traps, particularly video camera traps, and we're pointing them at the pits that I pointed out earlier on. And this is the sort of thing that we're getting. The pits were originally thought to act as territory markers, and also the pits, the dusting in the pits helped the tahr rid itself of parasites. And indeed, this may be true. However, we also noticed the tahr was doing many other different behaviors within the pit. And because of this, we started to really monitor these pits a lot more intensively. For instance, that tahr was just urinating on his head, and he's now he's pasting it all over this pit. So suggesting that he is actually scent marking this pit. The females also use the pits, although slightly less intensively than the males. They use them around about half as much as the males. They also dust using the pits, but also rub their bodies around the pits. So we believe that the behavior did actually originate to help the tahr reduce parasites. However, we think that since then it's evolved into something a lot more complex related to their social system. So are the pits territorial markers as we once thought? Well, almost certainly not. What we found is that individual pits are used by up to 11 different tahr at a time, with up to 3 different tahr using the pits at the same time, indicating they're not really territorial markers at all. What we rather think, or at least hypothesize at this moment, is that the pits are rather being used to scent mark. The tahr are leaving information for other tahr to pick up about their size, their physical condition, and their dominance hierarchy. We also think the pits help other tahr know who's in the area at the time. And we think also that the pits may be used to help the tahr find a mate, which would be extremely important for a species that lives at such a low density as the Arabian tahr. So during the project, we've also been trying to do a lot of capacity development. And at the start of the project, I spent a lot of time with the rangers in Wadi Serene, going out into the mountains. And they've been really critical in the project setup and because of their knowledge of the mountains, but also their knowledge of biodiversity and local knowledge of the area. We've also tried to give something back in terms of teaching them new techniques such as camera trapping, use of GPS, and also how to make really good observations in the field. Also, I think one of the main impacts is just spending a long time with these guys in the field, talking about conservation and talking about their role in this very important conservation of the Hajar Mountains. I think that's had an impact in their sort of motivation for the job. From my perspective, I've really enjoyed working with these guys, and some of my greatest memories of being in Oman will be of working in the field with my Omani colleagues.
So I'm speaking about the Aflaj systems in Oman. As Herodotus said that Egypt is the gift of Nile, I can say that Oman is the gift of Aflaj. These systems have been very important for Oman throughout the history. Without these systems, settlement in a dry area like Oman cannot be possible. Why we need Aflaj in Oman? Oman is located in a dry zone. The average rainfall of Oman is less than 100 millimeters per year. So what is a Aflaj? Aflaj, singular of Aflaj, if we define it in physical term as a water supply system, is a canal system that provides water for a community of farmers for domestic and agricultural use. The Aflaj term, it's mean in Arabic, it is a Semitic word. It's mean a river, it's mean a division, fracture, village, or a canal. These systems provide about 1/3 of water needed for agriculture in Oman. producing some about 680 million cubic meters of water per year, irrigating about 26,500 hectares of land. Here in this model, that's farmers ensure to have the right amount of water with the right quality at the right time and right place. These systems have been subjected to human interference, for example, like wars, conflicts, migration in or out of the system, also environmental disturbance, such as long drought, floods, sandstorms, etc. However, in the past, they have been always a continuous adaptation, and the pace or the rate of this adaptation have been always coping or in harmony with the change. Now, the change is coming from out of the system is much, much faster this fragile ecosystem can tolerate. They need help. The challenge, in fact, is how we can take these systems to the future, how we can make them tolerate the modern development in the country, how we can take them to the future with keeping their heritage and their character. So in summary, Aflash must be considered Oman's only indigenous, naturally occurring, sustainable supply of irrigation water that is in harmony with the environment. Oman is the gift of Aflash. Thank you for listening.
I'm reminded as the speakers spoke today, my mentor of working in Oman is Dr. Roderick Dutton. And he always said, it's about balance. And what's important is to get the best of the past for the best of the future. And I think all our speakers have touched on that today. Thank you, Dr. Saif. I'm sure you'll all agree that our speakers have brought Oman to life. We have all learned something new about Oman's biodiversity, the challenge of balancing development and conservation, and the steps being taken by leaders in Oman to protect the many environments under threat. But as Dr. Saif has said, we all have much to do. These Earthwatch lectures would not be possible without our friends from the Mitsubishi Corporation Fund for Europe and Africa who are with us tonight. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Emily, and your colleagues from Japan. As always, we value all you do to help us achieve our sustainability mission. And tonight I say, shukran jazilan. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again here at the next Mitsubishi Public Lecture on Thursday, the 15th of May, where we will be visiting the forests of Borneo with Dr. Glenn Reynolds. Ma salama, keep safe, keep in touch, and thank you and good night.
you.